as you said, you don't want to see complacency. Complacency in life, much less football, is a killer. We go into that game 9 games unbeaten. The challenge is obviously, can you remain 10 games unbeaten? Whether we're able to do that is another thing, people. And on that, we might as well just kick off straight away with previewing Arsenal versus Watford, man, because I'm not gonna lie to you, as much as I want to talk about it, people, it's not what I'm most excited or want to speak about today, people. Again, so let's slap that in there. 4 minutes, let's say Arsenal v Watford preview. Now, for me, people, I want to win for several reasons. As I've previously said to you, there's no months in the year anymore for me. From now until Jan, you need to get out of the Jan, you need to get into January still doing what you're kind of doing now. Doesn't necessarily have to be unbeaten. I would love it to be unbeaten. But what I mean is, mathematically, the way you're playing, the way mathematically it's looking, you're in with a shout of top 4. And obviously, you see the leagues, there's probably about 5 different mini leagues. There's a different relegation mini league going on. There's the top 3 have their own, statistically, West Ham can't say they're not in a title challenge. They're level on points with City, I believe. But there's a mini league where Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester City are concerned. Then obviously where Manchester United, Watford, Leicester, Arsenal, Spurs, maybe, mathematically a couple other teams as well. Everton, I'm sure, at the start of the year, they were running away with it. There's another mini league in relation to 4th. Now, for me, you lot are smart enough. We need to improve on finishing 8th. Minimum, I would love a 6th place finish. Personally, I don't know if we've got that in us. 6th should be the minimum. 5th would be ideal. I say that. 5th would be ideal. 6th should be the minimum. Competing is the absolute minimum. The absolute dream is to be playing Champions League football. Now, whether we've got that, I don't know. There's still a lot of football to play. We've got AFCON to come. Right now we've been playing well. There's been no injuries. We've had a squad, but like you saw at the start of the season, you don't always get that luxury. Injuries happen. While they're valid, we need to make things happen. And obviously, we've got a young squad that show their quality, but sometimes have showed their inexperience as well, people. So, there's a long way to go. And for me, respectfully to Watford, you cannot, like you lot said, you can't be complacent. Watford are not, they're better than their form. It's saying they've got quality players. They've got a quality manager. They all should want to play for their new manager. They're fighting for Premier League survival very early on. They're not picking up too many wins. So there's pride on the line. So you've got to be careful, where it's all great for Arsenal. So, of course, looking at it, you'd expect Arsenal to win. But it's all, we need to apply ourselves. I think when we took the lead against Crystal Palace, we assumed just off the back of our good form that we're going to win. That's not the case. Now, for us, obviously, we're 9 games unbeaten. Can you make it 10? Can you go into the international break with a bit of insurance? Go into the international break on a high, because it would be 10 games unbeaten. We've got a week where not too many of you are going to go and play for your countries. We've got a week or so to prepare for Liverpool. And we've also got that insurance in beating Watford, assuming we got 3 points. Now, I'm not saying Liverpool should be a write-off. I'm not saying we should go there and not try and win. We should be trying to do what Brighton did. Just when you try and apply yourself, you can walk away with something, but you need a bit of insurance. And one thing I've liked this season is when teams have been in bad form, like Leicester, like Spurs, and like Villa, in previous years, these teams play us, they morph and they go and win games, and they look like a prime Barca. We've been able to strike while the iron is hot. I don't think we've been able to, we've learned any lessons in that. We've gone against some big teams and performed against them, and we've got some, we've got Liverpool that will be a big test. You've got Everton away where we lost last year. There'll be other testers, but we need that insurance. And obviously you want to keep the good form going. It's all great for us at this moment in time, people. We've got players fit, people are challenging for spots. Our new signings, you're seeing what they're doing. Aubameyang, Lacazette, they've rediscovered themselves and found their ability again. Saying that, Lacazette's continuing his form from the end of last year. So everything's going our way. It's down to us now to keep going. And obviously, you look at some of the fixtures this week. We need to keep going, because obviously, if you beat Watford, you stand in good stead. Conte, obviously, I back him to turn things around at Spurs and whatnot, personally, sad to say. But they've got Everton away. Now, Everton aren't flying as high as they was at the start, but you've got them. You can't rule out Man United in a derby game. I think United might actually win it against City. But if you was a betting man, everyone's probably going to bet their house on Manchester City to win that. You've got the Manchester derby. You've got Spurs against Everton. West Ham against Liverpool. West Ham are a good side. And again, 3 points is a big 3 points. But you get the point. There's some big games concerned. So if we're able to strike, we can do our thing. There's going to be times where we drop points. Everyone's going to drop points this season. It's naive to think Arsenal are going to get something out of every game from now to the end of the season. So I don't want to see the fans going to meltdown. I don't want to see anyone going to meltdown when we lose or draw, because these things will happen. But it doesn't mean that because it's going to happen, we need to accept it. And again, strike while the iron's hot. Listen, I've got nothing but respect and admiration for Ranieri. Watford are our London Coley brothers. We share the training grounds. They're probably spying on what we're doing, but you should be winning. Anything less than 3 points is unacceptable, people. You know, they play that 4-1, 4-1, and they do have quality. You know, King, you saw what he did against Everton. We all know how good Ismail Assar is. You know, they've got other players that could stand up to be counted, but I want to go there and exploit things. That defense, you know, Foster, go and have some shots. He's shaky. Go and have some shots. He's more concerned about his YouTube career. That Mazzina brother, he's suspect. Cathcart is suspect. I like the right back Ngatia, but he's, you know, go and make him learn some lessons. We need to be on the front foot in a game like that. I'm not being funny, but you look at their last, what's this? 1, 2, oh gosh, sorry, I can't even count. Apologies, people. You look at their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Last 5 games, they drew 1-1 against Newcastle. They lost a goal to nil against Leeds. You know, they lost 5-0 to Liverpool. They scored. They came back from behind and beat Everton. Apologies, 5-2. Then they went and lost to Southampton. So that's what. 1 win in the last 5 games, people. They've taken 4 points in their last 5 games. Go and exploit them. And if we go further up, people, you know, they have made it difficult for people. Spurs only walked away with a 1-0 victory. They do have quality, but they haven't got too many wins on the board this season. Go and exploit that. Go and make that tough. It's simple as that, people. And then you look at the table. You can't just be looking at form and them thing there. But we're 6th, 17 points. As I said, you've got 4th place against 2nd place in West Ham, Liverpool. You've got 5th against 3rd in Man United, City. Take your opportunities. You've got 9th against 10th in Tottenham versus Everton. Bearing in mind, United are ahead of us on goal difference. We've got -1. They've got 4, both on 17 points. Wolves and Brighton are on 16th place are on 16 points, each in 7th and 8th place respectively. Then you've got 9th and 10th place Everton and Spurs. Point separates them. Spurs have 15, Everton have 14. You know, Leicester are on 14 points as well. So there's no margin for error. The table is going to trickle and turn, and you're going to be 4th or 5th, and then you're going to drop down. But this is where we need to account for, because we are still chasing points. We've put on a good winning run and won games, but we did draw against Brighton. We're not going to win all the time, and sometimes that's a good draw. It was a good draw, but we didn't turn up, if we're real with ourselves. We was very reactive. Palace, we dropped 2 points because we was in the lead. So, you know, you've got to add them up. Of course, I'm not saying we're going to beat Manchester City or beat Chelsea, definitely at the start of the season, but that's 6 points gone. 9 when you consider Brentford. My point is to say this. You add up all them points I've said, that's the points tally Arsenal have dropped, and we could do the same among other clubs. And you have to remember, we're going to drop other points. So as much as it's about winning, it's about doing things. I don't think Arsenal are in the top 4 hunt, but what I would like is for our players and the whole club to just believe that they can win it and apply themselves to get in there, because that means I'm going to see consistency, drive, guile, all of these things. As an Arsenal fan, G1, I'm tired of it being like November and December, and regardless of, because there's been times the league will look like how it looks like now, but Arsenal are not in the conversation. And again, 5th or 6th needs to, I don't even like saying that's the minimum, but that's the only, you know, if there's no style of play and we don't, some of the unanswered questions, considering Arteta's been here for 2 years, are not solved, to go with not finishing respectively in the league in an improvement, it's a myth, you know. And for me, I want to see, if I'm real with ourselves, I'm not belittling our performances. Hit the like button if you haven't. 75 people locked in. I need to see us play well for 90 minutes, because I don't think Watford are just going to rock up there, rock up to the Emirates and think we're just going to walk all over them. Because if I'm Watford, I'd believe I could get something. You know, as good as it's been with 9 games, that's the 9 games unbeaten to however many years people look at Arsenal and say it's a soft touch, it's an easy 3 points. Again, if I'm a rival, I would still feel disappointed if I don't get 3 points out of Arsenal. And if I'm Leicester, I'd feel disappointed that I never got something. Spurs, Villa, all the same. Not that Arsenal didn't play well. That's just where we are. You know, 9 games against years, it doesn't work out. So while the sentiment is good, everyone's together, we need to keep going. Nothing has been achieved. And that's one thing I like in Arteta's old press conference the other day. He said it, but he said, we've won a couple of games, we ain't done nothing. And it's Arteta's 100th game. Big up Raz, as he said, don't get rubbed out in your 100th game. You know, where's the time gone, really? You know, and I'd say for Arteta, you know, respectfully, 100th game, I'm sure if if we was to ask 10 Arsenal fans about him right now, obviously no one's going to sack him. Just like when we was moving mad at the start of the year, everyone would have probably said to move him on. I'm pretty sure if you ask, there'll be a varied opinion. So for Arteta, You know, what's your 200th game for Arsenal by God's grace? You know, if it works out, what's that going to say? So don't get rubbed out on your 100th game. Don't get rubbed out going into the international break because obviously it leaves a sour taste. Let's try and win, save some face. We'll focus for Liverpool, which realistically is a write-off. It's just about the way we perform. So we're gonna need to stand up to be counted, people. It's as simple. It's as simple as that, people. It really is. You know, sixth place against 16th, and they're fighting relegation again. Goal difference makes all the difference, and Burnley and Leeds would probably have to do a lot, in fact. But if Leeds win, Leeds go ahead of you. If Villa win, they make ground on top of you. If Burnley win, they draw parity with you. As I said, there's different mini leagues from 14th. Probably what you'd actually probably say mathematically, you know, because there's only 2 points separating it. I would say from 12th, where Brentford are, to 20th. Everybody's fighting for this thing now. Brentford have had a couple of normal results, I would say, after riding high. There's been a bit of issues there. So we're going to need to stand up to be counted. You know, obviously you're hoping Kieran Tierney's fit. We're going to go out, we're going to go over Mikel Arteta's press conference in a second, but you're hoping Kieran Tierney and that is fit. And then we go out and do what we're doing, people. I hope Arteta's next 100, sorry, are better than the first. To be fair, he did win an FA Cup. Right, big up G1. Morning, DG. Great Twitch stream with Graham. Yes, quality. Appreciate that. That will be out today for the YouTubers as well who weren't there. One love to everyone who was there at the time. Still believe Guendouzi has a future. The boy just needs to be coached. We'll get on to him in a sec. Don't know. I haven't seen enough of Fernando to have an informed opinion on him. You know, Liverpool could drop out of the top four as AFCON will mess up their team big time. Mane and Firmino, Mane and Salah probably, but again, we could drop out of being in the hunt for top four. Car, we're losing bare man. Really, we're losing the key players. Really, people can say what they want about Pepe. Well, you need him in the squad. Definitely going to see the absence of Partey. Definitely going to miss Aubameyang. So I hope players stand up to be counted. Even El Nene, if injuries happen, what's there? Of course, I hope people stand up to be counted, but it's not always adapting all the time, people, man. It's not always a that thing. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. We're still only at 62 likes, people. So we're getting close. It's the hardest decision I would say is, do I start Martin Odegaard? I would say, man, really and truly. I wouldn't say Guendouzi is the midfielder we need. He's someone I would want in the team. I think need is the Locatellis and was the hours and all of them guys, the guys that can play next to Partey. I wouldn't say Guendouzi can, but you know, I do think people polarize opinions. I mean, people make out that he's overrated, which is not true. People make out that he's a world beater right now, which is not true. Love the guy, and we'll get on to that. Let's focus on Arsenal Watford. He's a quality player, but yeah, staying with Arsenal Watford again. In short, fighting to stay in the league. They're gonna want to fight. We're fighting for Europe. We've got an unbeaten run. Let's keep it going. Don't lose it cheaply. Don't cheat yourselves, people. You know, prepare for the break. You know, win. Prepare for Liverpool during the break in the right way. If we're, you know, in an ideal world, hopefully we put in a performance against Liverpool. If it doesn't work out, then you've given yourself a 3-point insurance, and the league can restart the next week, if that makes sense, really. Because again, you lot have seen our fixture list. We've got some tough games. If it don't look like tough games on paper, we've got tough games. And again, I feel like a broken record because we're always speaking about this, but just to paint the picture for those of you that aren't obviously aware of who we may or may not have. Again, obviously Watford on Sunday. Again, let me share the screen. And again, I have to say it's a January. It's for me. There's no new months. It's from November. It was from October, sorry, to December. We've got City on the first. You need to get into that City game in a good run of form. You've got Arsenal at home, Arsenal Watford. So we're playing Watford at home, Liverpool away, Newcastle, new manager. Eddie Howe will be there. They're fighting to stay in the league. They're gonna have an uptake in results. Man United at Old Trafford. How's that gonna go? Goodison Park. I badly want to win there because one of the poorest performances for me last season was our performance away from home at that place. Southampton's a bit of a bogey team. In form, West Ham away against Leeds is not easy. You've got the cup game. You're playing about two teams fighting relegation. You can say what you want about Norwich. You need to go and win that. Wolves, they look like they're doing a thing under their new manager. So no one's gonna hand you 3 points in this thing. And then obviously stop at City. So there's no margin for error. In ideal world, like I said, all I want to see is play to the home crowd, shoot. They will crumble. Watford, apologies, do not have the best of defenses. They'll probably morph. Have a shot. Test Foster, get miscommunications between that defense. We're scoring goals. Let's try and do that. Look, can we exploit set pieces? Can we have some movement? Come on, man. let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. In relation to the lineup, now is the only thing I'm stuck on now. If we was to fixate on a lineup potentially, obviously Ramsdale picks himself. I do think Lacazette will drop to the bench for this game. I think it's going to be Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel. Pardon me, if Tierney's fit, I'm gonna put Tierney slash Tavares. If Tierney's fit, Tierney starts for me, but Tavares doesn't deserve to be dropped. And maybe I know Tierney's gonna be called to Scotland, but maybe it could be worth, Tavares. You deserve to hold on to your spot. Hold on to your spot. Tierney, we focus on you against Liverpool, really and truly. That could be something. But yeah, man, if everybody's fit, Tierney would be my first choice. But Tavares earns his spot, so it's Tierney slash Tavares. So my back five unit consists of the obvious Ramsdale picks himself, as does Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel, Tierney slash Tavares. In midfield, I'm going with Thomas Partey, I think Lokonga, and then I personally think he's going to drop somebody, and Smith. I think Lacazette's going to get dropped. Smith Rowe's going to move back over to the left, and that's where Odegaard's going to come in. And I'm not actually against that for what it's worth, but for me, I'm going with Partey, Lokonga, Smith Rowe in the 10, Saka on the right. Saka, I need a big. You weren't bad, but I need to see something in terms of goal scoring and just looking better in the final third, despite your assist. Aubameyang plays for me, and then on the left. As I said, I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna go for Smith Rowe out there. But for me, I'll go with the same thing, man, with Lacazette. Let's go with that makeshift 4-1-4-1, 4-4-2. Even at elements, it turns into a 4-2-3-1 as Smith Rowe gravitates into pockets. Saka comes off that right hand side. Smith Rowe, as I said, buzzing in whatever. Aubameyang getting onto the last shoulder. Lacazette dropping deep to press the man who plays progressive passes. Watford have a lot of energy and dynamism, and I don't think they're playing to their potential. So these are the things, and I think Lacazette dropping will do things. It opens up space for Aubameyang. Aubameyang and Smith Rowe, they get there. I know a lot of talk is said about Lacazette and Smith Rowe and Saka's link up in particular, but especially when it comes to Smith Rowe and Aubameyang, no one's really giving them credit for how they're putting their little moves together and things like that. Smith Rowe is the conductor, and he does it with everyone. Even if that's why I don't mind Tavares playing, because I don't know what it is. Tierney hasn't had the best of seasons, but there's been a number of times he's put some good balls into that box and nobody's looked at it. But I also think Tavares and Smith Rowe against Villa, especially if we're going to do the 4-4-2 thing, they worked very well down the left-hand side. And for me, I really want it to be a very uncomfortable whole game for Watford. But I would say the first 10 minutes, I want to make it really uncomfortable. I want Ben Foster shouting at his centre half shouting at fullbacks shouting at midfielders. Everyone, make them, bro, if you score one goal, these lot have been in bad form. When you concede one goal, it's like, here we go again. Make them man crumble. The more you don't score, the more you're allowed to knock it about, the more confident Watford are going to get. Play the occasion. The beautiful thing about football is we're waffling about their form, what's happened, this, that, and the other. Half of this is going to be irrelevant come kickoff on Sunday. Form isn't everything. We had terrible form at our point going into Chelsea last year. No one gave us a chance. We went and won. So we can't expect that we have any divine rights. So my lineup would be, let's do the 4-1-4-1, 4-4-2 thing again. Same squad, really, realistically, apart from Tierney. No one deserves to be dropped. Everyone's earned their spot. I do, however, think, the situation might change. I personally think Lacazette is going to get dropped to the bench. Smith Rowe is going to be part of the attacking options. And that's how you get Odegaard in there. And I'm not against that, but that's where I'm going. In relation to a prediction, you know what? I'm going to say 2-0 Arsenal, but I would love 4. I'm going to say 2-0 Arsenal. Humble 2-0, man. I'm going to say Aubameyang and Saka, man. Smith Rowe assist. Then we're all eating in that regards. We're all eating. So it is what it is where that's concerned, people. Again, keep your comments, engagement and whatnot coming. Not just about Arsenal, Watford, all your opinions on anything. You lot make this platform for where it is, man. So yeah, don't feel no way about commenting, folks, man. I can see